Hi there, it's Mark Carlson here. So this week's video, the easiest and most effective way to create healthy discipline in your life. So how can we do that? You know, when we're disciplined, when we master our daily repetitive actions that create good things for us, life gets better. Simple as that. But if you're like me, I'm sure you've gone through life where you've started something and then it's stopped, and then you've started again and then it's stopped. And so let's have a look at that first. Let's have a look at what's going on when we try to discipline ourselves to do something and why we possibly fail when we don't break through. So there's two forces right within us. There's the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other. And of course the angel is the time when the force within you is saying, that's enough, I'm really going to get this, and I go and you do all the work that you have to do every day, and things start to get better, and then all of a sudden devil shows up and says, we ain't going any further forward. Now what's actually happening there is that you're close to a breakthrough, right? So you've got to look at the devil part of you. It's not really the devil, but the part of you that's opposing you breaking through. It's an energy form, and it's alive, and it hangs out there in the form that it's in, and it doesn't want to die. All right, so when you have a breakthrough, that part of you is going to die, and that's why it comes up really strongly, and that's when you really don't want to do it. You know, if you go into the gym or you're trying to lose weight, for example, those are the times when the resistance to doing it really comes up. But this is the same with anything that you're trying to break through and change and create a new habit form in your life that's good for you. So that side of you comes up strongly because it's saying, we ain't going to die. We're going to fight for our life, essentially. And then it comes up strongly. And because that part of you has been the predominant part of you for the longest, it usually wins, because the neural pathways are still very strong for you to take the old actions, right? That's why you're chopping trees down, trying to take the new actions, creating a new pathway in the brain. And you get going and you're getting good and things are starting to change. And as you're going to get your first breakthrough, this thing will come up so strongly. So what we're looking at is a fight between good and evil inside of you, between the desired and the undesired within you, right? It's not good and evil essentially, it's just two forces of energy that are within you. And one force is the force that you've been doing life from all of the time, so it's the strongest. And when you try to change it to the new one, it's obviously the weakest to start with. But as it gains strength and as it gains power, this energy inside of yourself, then this one gets nervous and fights hard to stop the positive force from creating the transformation. So that first thing to help you is to realize when you're really in resistance that you're close to a breakthrough. You're really close to a breakthrough, so you must continue to go forward. But the way to do it, which is not the conventional way. The conventional way is to grab hold of your willpower and drive yourself through it. But the force, the fight is still there. So the stronger the willpower, the stronger the other force. And I think it's not the most efficient way. The most efficient way is to balance the forces within yourself. If you're driving one and trying to fight this force within yourself, the fight remains. So we want to stop the fight. We want to bring the fight into a balanced, harmonious place. So the internal work is to balance those two forces inside, and we can only do that through the acceptance of who we are, through the acceptance of being the old way. It's okay. It's okay for me to be this way. So look, when we judge ourselves for anything, it perpetuates the thing that we're judging because we keep the force on. There's the thing that we do, and there's the judgment from the mind. And that resistance there keeps the fight going. So inevitably, you'll have periods where you're doing it great one time and then you're not doing it great because you're perpetuating the resistance, the fight, the force within yourself through the judgment, right? So the way to get yourself to discipline is to first and foremost learn to love you via acceptance. Learn to take the judgment off. I did it again and it's okay. Never mind. Right? When you soften that fight inside, what you're essentially doing is loving yourself. That's what you're doing. When you're fighting inside, when you're trying to overcome something so strongly inside, of course, that's not loving you, because you're actually experiencing a disharmonious energy inside of you. You're experiencing a fight. That's not loving you. When you're loving you, you feel great. You feel at harmony. You feel relaxed. Now, I'm not talking about relinquishing all responsibility and saying, "Oh, to hell with it, I'm not going to do it," unless you're in total acceptance of living life that way, and that's okay still. If you don't want to change, then you must take the judgment off, so that it's really okay the way you are. That's the way to love you, because you are the way you are, and if you love you the way you are, the way you are will just continue to be loving, and loving from within you. And what would almost always happen when you're loving you is that you'll over time move into the most optimal space for yourself in all of the areas, because you're loving you see. Because loving any area of our life that's not working is because we're not loving ourselves, because you accept the way you are. If you want to make a change and you're having that fight going on, then accept who you are first. Now, it's easier said than done. It's taken me a long time in certain areas of my life to do that. But working on forgiving myself, forgiveness, you might have heard me say this in many videos, it's always underrated. It's always underestimated, because it's so powerful and it's so easy to do. You just say it again and again and again. I forgive myself for not being able to get it together there. I forgive myself for quote-unquote failing again. I forgive myself. I absolutely, wholeheartedly forgive myself for X, Y, and Z. And you feel the softness happen. Now, the more you do that, the more you infuse your system with a loving, kind, nurturing energy like forgiveness, the easier it is to do the things that you'd like to do, right? So the places you want to get to, that you dream about wishing that you were there, they're potentially available for you, otherwise you wouldn't be thinking about them. That's why you want to get to them. But the fight inside is your guidance system's way of saying, but you're not loving you enough yet to have that. And that's why the fight is a beautiful angel in disguise to bring your awareness to something inside of you that's out of harmony. And then when you heal the disharmony, you bring it into harmony with soft, gentle love, you'll do the thing. Now, you've got to keep in mind, that's where I'm going, that's what I want to do, and you get back up and do it again. As I said, you don't use this as an excuse to not do anything. But you must give yourself that energy of, it's okay, buddy. If you don't love you, nobody can. And you'll never experience what love really means, because how could you? If you're not loving this, how could you possibly know what love is? You're the only thing going on. It's always you. And if you're not experiencing love from within yourself via how you think about yourself, then how can you possibly experience love from anything else? Because you're the only thing that's ever experiencing anything, right? And it's always going on inside of you. So, of course, the most essential thing that you can ever do for yourself is to love this system. And you love it by accepting where you are. You can't change where you are right now until you accept it. It is what it is right now. I can't say it's different than what it is. It's exactly as it is right now in this particular moment. So let it be that, because it is that anyway. What a weight off my shoulders, right? You let it be as it is. And then you move forward. And because you're letting it be as it is, you're infusing your system with love, and everything gets better. Have an absolutely fantastic day when you watch this. I look forward to talking to you again next time. Thank you so much.